it's time to do another take on. So, let's talk about the Gotcha fandom for a second. I don't know much about the fandom, but what I do know is that I actually do have my own Gotcha character. If you've seen that on my past community posts, whenever I say thank you for all my subscribers that have been supporting my channel. But honestly, aside from that, though, the Gotcha fandom community can be hazardous when it wants to be, though. And one of them today we're going to be looking at, well, I say one of them because honestly, the next one I'm going to be talking about will be the second. It will be the last ever take on I'll be doing this year. Yeah, I hate doing that to my audience, especially because I really don't want to make my stress and anxiety more worse than it could. I take on that actually got me a lot more to say than I thought it would have. Guys, there's nothing funny about animal cruelty or animal abuse, because honestly, when it comes to the internet, some people find that funny, or they think it's because, hey, it's dark humor, that automatically makes it funny. Honestly, when it comes right down to it, I can never stand animals getting abused, because I used to be obsessed with a bunch of animals, like more animals than just say the flamingo per se. But I have a feeling even if this user does find out who I am, she's just gonna make herself look like she wants to make it look like a flamingo can get killed. No, we're talking about, you already read the channel's title on my take on the title card here, and yeah, it's Budsforbuddies. This is admittedly a user that's been hanging over my head for quite some time, and honestly, there's a lot more to say about this user than I thought it would have, though. Not only that, it's pretty, I can never stand. Not only is she an animal abuser, but she also seems to hate a lot of things. Like, say for example, they're are really hating you more than ever before now, and she also says that people who believe in a fake story and book like God and Jesus. Now, I'm gonna say this right here and now. It's fine to be an atheist. It's fine to be those kind of people, because I know very few people, including one atheist himself. That said, however, I can't really tell you how much it infuriates me, how much this user really bothers me. Like Buds for Buddies, I don't care if she's watching this video, because there's a lot, or girl, or whatever. I don't even know what you want to call her anyways, though, because as far as I can tell, she's dangerous. For Buddies, for those who don't know, is a user who goes so far as to take care of her own pets, but she also does animal abuse, killing, and stuff like that in her own channel. And you're not gonna see anything special about her channel. What's more, it's pretty much a disgusting channel at that, though. I did see that she does have playlists about her these animals getting killed and everything, but that begs the question, if she has so many users who like this, like say she's about approximately 39k video, I don't understand, how do people find this funny? Hell, if in my regard, it's just downright embarrassing to see users find this stuff funny, even though they blatantly say to her, this is not funny and tasteful regardless of that. So why are so many people still blindly following her if they don't like what she's doing on her channel? Because we obviously watch YouTube channels to be entertained in what we're getting into. And I know for a fact that this is from different communities, but even with that said, however, it really begs the question why they do this, though. So if you want to know what animal abuse she does this, though, she has a playlist of different animals: bunnies, dogs, and cats. I swear if she puts birds in there, there's going to be a lot of trouble with it from my end, though, because, you know, flamingos are birds. But hey, she hates animals. It seems like she says she hates animals, yet she has pets of her own? What? I mean, some people could make the argument that she's just doing this to make dark humor and all that that stuff. And honestly, this is not dark humor. If it's dark humor, I'm not laughing. I'm not even buying the joke, if anything, to judge by. I know for a fact some people are gonna say in the comments, Flamingo, you're too sensitive. You're just too sensitive because it's animal abuse. What's the problem with that? My response, you really think that animal abuse is funny? This is the same thing I've seen stuff like Pollution Entertainment, if anyone remembers that user, before he got terminated. And honestly, when it comes right down to it though, it's not to the point where I can never understand how is this stuff supposed to be funny. If you find it funny, then do it on your own end, because honestly, that's not something I want to see. And despite all of this though, she's still on YouTube to this day, making video after video doing something like this though. Like, if you're offended, well, not my problem. What the fuck? Are you trying to tell me that you really hate it when people get like, and also for the fact that she says things like Israel make Palestinian kids suffer? What did Israel do to those people? I didn't learn anything from the history of all this stuff because there's so much going on, because honestly, it's gone to the point where it's obvious that they're doing something to make it look like, hey, it's supposed to be funny, so that means it's really supposed to give you a laugh and everything like that. I don't care who she is though. She doesn't sound like just like an animal abuse sir, just for that. She sounds like she's also xenophobic for people who are from different countries. To people who are from different countries like Israel, let me tell you this right now, B, it's not funny, and what's more, you're really insulting the races regardless of that though. This is what I mean when I say I hate, with a burning passion, hate xenophobia. Like, you could make the argument that it's just a race and that doesn't make you a person. Yeah, that's true. Making someone into whatever race they are is not really gonna describe their personality. But you don't see me going from people who I know, even to the people who I talk to, who are either from Canada, Italy, the UK, or anything like that. You don't see me going on saying, hey, this is really xenophobia talking thing, because you shouldn't be born there. And I have to say this right here and now. No one can tell where they're going to be born at. Wherever the person is born at, can you honest to God tell me that they can tell you where they're going to be born when they already were when they were first born? When you're first born, you don't know what country or place you're living in. For that matter, no one's going to know whereabouts they're going to be living unless they actually move to a different place. If their family or themselves, when they get older, move to a different area. This is what I mean when I say I hate xenophobia. When they say, oh, this means this country makes all those people that. Like, I'm in America, I live in America, the USA specifically. And you don't see me going around saying to people, hey, if you're born in this place, that means you're already this person already. Person's personality at all, let alone does it really give you anything to work with. Like, isn't not like saying if someone was born in Canada, that means they already talk French already? Because honestly, this is coming from someone who knows someone in Canada that doesn't talk all the way in French. And let me just say this right here and now, you don't have to do what that race tells you to do. Hell, I'm half Puerto Rican, and you don't see me doing everything that a Puerto Rican does. And even for that matter, it still bothers the hell out of me. People assume that right away. Not just for Budsforbuddies, but for anyone out there in general. But back for Budsforbuddies though, their content, after watching it, I get that they're made in gacha form. I get that. So at least it's not in real life or anything. But I still have yet to wonder, how the hell did she make it this far on YouTube when she really goes so far as to think that animal abuse is fun? Like, really? She's really making it look like she can do whatever she can to do so already though? Like, for the love of God though, this is just borderline disgusting. And when it comes to her about page, I get what she's trying to say here. Like, she has these her siblings and her current slaves, which Yeah, I'm just gonna say this right here and now. Did you even realize that slavery's been outlawed? Maybe I'll remind you, this user is just abysmal. Right to the point where I can't tell if YouTube is just saying, oh, we're just gonna let it slide, or they're just gotcha form. At least they're not real life or anything. Okay, even with that said, this is still borderline horrifying to watch. And I should know because honestly, as someone who's has seen animal abuse like that, already knows it's hard to watch. Unless you're that much of a sadist thinking, oh, this animal deserves it or anything, that's not really something I want to see or anything like that. Plus, it's even borderline horrendous when you get right down to it, though. Some people tell me that it's best let's just let it all be because it's not hurting anybody. Yeah, that may be true, but that doesn't mean I want to see animal abuse right there on screen where everyone can see it. Or in this case, anyone can sense what's going on if they can't see it. Because honestly, though, it's really gone to the point where Budsforbuddies, as much as she doesn't know about it, though, this is why so many people cannot abide by her own thinkings about this stuff, though. I know for a fact there are some people out there who would dare say, oh, you're just being sensitive or something on the lines of that. I'll fully state I am a sensitive person when it comes to something like this. I mean, seriously though, this is why I get touchy and emotional from time to time. But even with that said, however, I'd rather be sensitive than be insensitive to what damage she's been doing in her channel, though. And yet somehow she still gets away with it, though. Like, why? And yes, before you say anything, I am aware she got community. Anyways, though, I don't want to say too much on her channel, though, because honestly her videos are nowhere clocking in the 1 minute range, unless you find those compilation videos, which are about as long as you think they could be at times when you make compilation videos. These videos just clock in to at the very most 15 seconds, possibly less than that. And to be honest, that's what most of her channel consists of, though. Like, come on now. You mean to tell me this is really something you want to watch? Really? Because a lot of people say that she is changing or something like that, or she's just doing this for rage baiting issues, though, where people want to quit rage or something like that. I don't really know. What I do know is that it's really gone to the point where I can never stand this kind of level of behavior, let alone will it ever let me ever like a person like that. Does anyone even find this animal cruelty funny? Even if you could argue it's animated and something like that, though, this gives me flashbacks to the one anime where an elfin lead where Lucy met a dog, and then all of a sudden the boys started beating it up right in front of her eyes. Like, seriously though, I could never stand anything like that. And while I haven't seen animal abuse up front in front of my eyes personally, I still think it's worth noting this is not how it works, though. How does she get this far is beyond my knowledge, though. How did she even get this far anyways, though? Because as far as I'm aware, there have been many rants on her, and yet up there with Madeline Hatter, I still can't understand how is she still being made saying, hey, I'm doing something wrong, but that's all to it, though. In the words of someone said before me, I know it's wrong, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Which is really disgusting behavior, if anything to judge by, though. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I guess this is one of the reasons why I'm not into the gacha community, because every time they want to do something in animated form, they use that gacha form to make it look like something else. You know, I'm not saying that every fandom out there is going to be toxic. Yes, there are fandom that are toxic, and what's more, they're going to do whatever they can to say you're too naive or you're too sensitive for this kind of content. Maybe so, but even with that said, however, I'm no one's puppet master. I'm no one's person to speak of. Hell, I'm not even a narrator at that, though. Whatever story you want to fall under is your choice, what path you want to fall under. Because honestly, something like this really does make me question, how does the internet still have these degenerates? Like, more than usual. I know for a fact that these degenerates are going to be either more popular or in this case they're going to be made fun of at times though. But even with all that said, that still makes me question how do these people make it through after one person following them though? Because let's be honest though, isn't the whole point of making videos to entertain people, not make them feel raged or disgusted? Hell, I've seen plenty of users who actually got terminated for what they've done, but sometimes they'll bring up even though you're literally hiding behind the mask. And whatever you're doing with yourself, it's up to you to decide what path you want to fall under. But animal abuse is something I could never stand from Budsforbuddies, though. I got this request months back when I started to doing more and more take-ons, but yeah, now you see why I don't want to do these take-ons after the Mr. Beast and Bella the Wolf requests. Because someone did request them when I was sexually minding my own business at the time, though, around late August. Yeah, Jesus Christ, these months go so fast. I can't even prosper into doing that. But after that, however, I think around next week, I don't know when next week, I'll have to contact Giratina to see when he wants to do the Mr. Beast video next week, because I just hope I'm able to do it when my mom doesn't and see me doing it. Otherwise, though, but other than that, yeah, that's. But let's be honest, though, I feel like I'm gonna be burnt out with these anyway. And hopefully, after I'm done doing the next two take-ons, I hope to do a channel update because really I need to take a long way from these here take-ons. I want to do something new for my channel, like something I'm actually enjoying. But until then, thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully, the next video will be up next week. And until then, stay Flamingo-tastic.